Faithful. Joining us now, Republican Congressman Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, to discuss what's going on down there. Great to have you here, sir. Well, first of all,
hey, Juliet, thank you.
Michael Steele, you know, he's been, we refer to him as embattled. Packed house, not so much for him, though, today. Although he did get some laughs and he did get a lot of applause. One of the things that he said, and we discussed this a little bit earlier, was that he said we need to, drain the Kool-Aid from their veins, meaning drain the Kool-Aid from the America's veins. That got some laughs. How'd he do?
I thought Michael did fairly well. Obviously, Michael has a record of accomplishment to look at. We've won in Virginia. We've won in New Jersey. We've won in Massachusetts. He actually came in early with some dollars. Clearly, there was concern regarding his level of control. In a conversation earlier that he had with others that I was part of, he mentioned that they are strengthening their controls. Clearly, some people have left. I think he's doing what he has to do.
Now, what's the mood down there in New Orleans? And I'm not talking about down in the French Quarter. I'm talking about in that room there.
The mood is energized, it is passionate, and it is of tremendous concern about our country's future. It isn't people coming down to enjoy our great weather, food, and French Quarter Festival. It is people coming down with a sense of mission that if they're not engaged, that our country will continue down a path which is non-sustainable. So I just had a conversation, I'm a physician, with two OBGYNs from New York that came down because they're so frightened of this health care plan. They felt like they had to engage someplace. So the New Yorkers are talking to us down here at the Southern Republican Leadership Conference.
We're going to be getting these straw poll results very soon. And what's the buzz? Who are people talking about down there? Who do you think is going to come out on top?
I think clearly two things. One, clearly you think that Palin and Paul are probably the ones who are odds-on favorite. On the other hand, that doesn't matter. The real story here is the sense of interest in it. The fact that people are registering to vote for someone, the fact that people are engaged as they've not been engaged in the conservative cause for 4 to 6 years. If you will, the conservative cause has recovered its credibility and is seen now as the vanguard for creating positive change in our country.
Newt Gingrich made a point today to talk about the trend of, sort of bucking the trend of the party of no and saying we want to be the party of yes. How was that taken?
You know, I actually see no difference between the two messages that I think you're contrasting between. On the one hand, we have clear philosophical differences with a, for example, health care plan that raises taxes by $500 billion, extends government control, becomes bureaucratic-centered as opposed to patient-centered. On the other hand, we have a clear positive message, which is let's make the bill patient-centered. Let's do things that put the patient in control and not a bureaucrat. The one is a negative, the other is a positive. We have to defeat the one and propose the positive. I actually think there's total consistency between what Newt's saying and what the others are saying. You
know, we've been talking again about the straw poll results, and again, we'll be getting those shortly, but we're paying a lot of attention to them. But really, I mean, when you look back, sometimes folks say, hey, I mean, this doesn't really mean anything. I mean, Bill Frist wasn't even on the presidential ballot, and he was the leader back in the 2000 leadership conference. So what's your feeling about the straw poll?
I'll return to what I said earlier. I truly think that the news here is the energy, the passion, the idealism, the commitment of those who are here voting on that straw poll. Whoever emerges in 2012 as our candidate will have all those folks behind them, no matter who they voted for here, number one. And number two, the interest in the straw poll will translate into a real surge of activism in the midterm elections. And frankly, I think that's good for the American people. It's good for the United States.
It's a long way off, too. All right. Thanks very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Interesting conversation there, and we're just a few minutes away.